Okay, um, today we're going to talk about the bibliography and citations. So I've opened up my paper again, right? We are doing a model with Snow White and Feminism, and we did the table of contents, and I've just added a lot of text so that to show you about how much you need if I mark everything here that I did from the introduction to the end, I can look down here and I see I have 757 words, which is exactly what I need. This is about how long your paper should be. If you see that your paper isn't long enough, you can always do some more research, add another subtopic. For instance, I was thinking of adding a subtopic. Remember how I do that? I go on styles up here, I do heading 1, and I was going to do something about marriage is the happy end, right? And from a feminist point of view, right, the only good end for a woman is to marry, and so on. So, again, I could add a little bit if I need to. So there is my project, but I'm missing citations in the bibliography. Okay, citations are if I took an idea from somewhere, let's say this business of the older woman who is jealous and ugly, and she's jealous of the young, beautiful stepdaughter. Um, I got that idea from somewhere. Okay, if I look here on the internet, I got that from Wikipedia. Okay, here it says the story vilifies the older woman character with her envy of Snow White's beauty. So I want to say that I got the information. This is one of my sources. I want to get show where I got the information from. So if I go back to Word, and remember yesterday we opened up references. Again, if you don't have references open, you go into File, Options, you go into Customize ribbon, Main tabs, and you make sure References is checked off. It's very helpful. I go into References, and I'm going to go into Manage Sources. I could also go into Insert Citation, and it will ask me for the source, but I'll do it this way. Go into Manage Sources, and here's my current list of sources. It's empty. The master list is all of the sources that I've used in the past. In any paper I've written, Word will remember it. But I want to do a current one, and I want to do a new one. Okay? Now, if I write that usually it will be up here on, I'm going to look for a website. Okay, most of you are using websites, and then it gives you all of this information, as much of the information as you can, you should fill in. Now, you should know that in Wikipedia, the author is Wikipedia contributors. We never have names for Wikipedia, but you can do it as Wikipedia contributors. Now, what about all this other stuff? Let's go back. We'll copy the URL, copy it, go back to Word, copy the URL. Okay, now we have the name of the web page, the name of the website. Okay, so the site is Wikipedia. And the name of the web page, let's go back and see what the web page was called. It was called Evil Queen. So we have that information we can put in. And then we need something about when it was written. Now, if you go into Wikipedia, at the bottom, you'll find it will tell you when it was last updated. At the very bottom, it says it was last updated June 2nd, 2024. So we can put that in as the date. Okay, I'll just copy it like this. Okay, and I'll make June. I don't really need the day, but okay, so we'll do it like that. Okay, now I'm going to do OK. Now that appears. It appears. I can close this. And this is, remember, I need 3 outside sources, so this is 1. And now, in addition to having the outside source, I have to show that I used it. So here, when it says there's usually an evil woman who's jealous, that is what I took from that particular source. So I go up to references again, and I do insert citation. Now it will list here all of the things, all of the sources that I have already given details about. Right now I only gave details for one. So I'm going to do, but I could add here a new source. Instead of doing it through managed sources, I can also do it here. But this is the one I want for this particular citation. So I click, and there it is. There's the citation. Okay? It just gives the name of the authors and the date. That is a citation. Now, if I go back to my managed sources, there's now a check mark next to the source, and that shows that I gave a citation for the source. Okay? I'm going to add another source. Go back here. I also used this one from Harpy. Isn't that a cute picture of Snow White holding the babies, and the prince is sitting there with his feet up doing nothing. I really like that. Okay, so this one is called Women in Fairy Tales, Snow White and the Insidious Power of Gender Stereotypes. I'm going to copy the name, and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to do manage sources. Oh, okay, new source. It's a website, and this was the name of the web page. And I think the site is called Harpy, if I remember. Now I mustn't forget the URL. I'll go back and look for and copy the URL. There's the URL. Let's go back and see if there's any indication of date. I see January 23rd, but I don't see a year. The author. This is very important. With Wikipedia, we never have the name of an author, but most websites will give us the name of the author, and that is really the most important piece of information, because you'll see that the bibliography is always organized by author. So Wikipedia had no specific author, we just called it contributors, but here we have the name of an author, so we definitely want to include that. And we're just going to see if we have any sort of date on this web page. We have January. No, it doesn't really, I don't know. I have no date here. It only gives me, it might be 2024, but I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll write to Harpy and ask them why they don't give a date. Okay, so we didn't give the date, so we will just write okay. Okay, so now you see there's no check mark here. I haven't given a citation yet from this source. So I'm going to close this, and let me just remember more or less what I talked about, what I learned from here. Okay, in fairy tales, women are dangerous. Let's see why she chose to indicate this. Okay, something about the beauty standards and so on. So I'm not going to, I'm just going to pretend that I took something from here for now. And let's just say that this idea that the only thing that is important to a woman in fairy tales is beauty. Let's just say that came from that particular source. So I do insert citation. I have two things to choose from. Okay. The Wikipedia and women in this one. So I'm choosing this one. And now if I go back to manage sources, you see I have a check mark next to both of them. Okay, when I'm finished my paper, I have to have 3 sources here and 3 check marks. I have to do a citation for each one. Now you should know that normally you can delete something. Let's say in the end you didn't use it, you want to delete it, but you can't delete it until you delete the citation. You would have to first delete the citation, and then this would turn black and you would be able to delete it. Those of you, if any of you are using my my template, you'll see there are 3 sources and they've been cited. So you have to remove the citation in order to remove the sources. Okay, I'll try to put one up without sources so you won't have to do that. So that is how you do your citations, okay? There's one citation. Now notice in this citation it says ND. That's no date. Where there's no date provided, they just give the author and no date. And here they gave contributors and a date. So they're my citations. Now, at the end, I have to do a bibliography. Now, fortunately, it has to be on a separate page. And fortunately, it's very easy to do. Just like the table of contents was easy, this is also easy. You see here where it says bibliography? Now, you'll notice there are different styles. Okay, there are different styles of bibliography. APA, Chicago, and MLA are the most popular, but I don't, just leave it on the default. The default's probably APA, and that's fine. In university, you might have somebody who wants a different style. So you click on bibliography and click, and there you go. Now it actually wrote the word bibliography for you, so I can take that off. I like to put a space in here. And there is my bibliography. Now, just like with the table of contents, if I now add another source, right, if I go here and I add another source, let's just say that I took a source, let's say this one, the movie, I'm going to do copy. And let's say that I made reference to the movie and I want to use that as a source. I have to tell you that you girls have to use 3 written sources. You can't use a movie as a source. But let's say I did that and I came here, right, and I talked about the Disney movie and I want to add a citation. So I'm going to cite the Disney movie. Here they give the director and the year. Okay, now I have to go down to my again, I'll look. Now I have a check mark next to all 3 of my sources. Go back down to my bibliography, click, and now I'm going to do update. There we go. Now it appears. Okay, so that's how you do the bibliography. It's very important to know how to do these things. So again, here we have title page, table of contents that we can update if we make any changes. It's based on all of anything that's defined as a heading. If I go home, I can see this. I can see this is marked as heading, right, because it has a square around it. This is marked as normal. I'll be using mostly heading and normal, right? And this one is marked as heading 1. This one's marked as heading 2, okay? And the headings help me create the table of contents and the go to references. This is where I put my where I can upload new sources so that they will appear in my bibliography, and also so it will be easy to cite them, because when I click on cite, all of my sources will come up and I will just have to click on one of them. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. Now, if you have already turned in your paper and you already see I didn't do the bibliography properly, or I didn't do the, I didn't put in a cover page, I didn't put in a table of contents, just expand what you did and upload it again. I think if you upload it with the same name, it will probably just overwrite the first one that you uploaded, or you can upload it with a different name. You could say version 2 or version 3 or version 4. There's probably a way to delete the old one, but submit it through Moodle. I know it's a bit of a bother for you, but it's very important to know how to do things online and to use the different online platforms and know how to use them. And it's important for me because then I have everything in one place. I can see when people uploaded their work. I can comment and you'll see the comments, and eventually you'll see the grade. Okay, so let me end this session.